Oh, listen to that. That's Pooh Bear up in my lap. It's just like the old days of the podcast. It's just me, a microphone, and Pooh Bear. Yeah. So, welcome back to Remasculate. It's the first podcast of the year. It's March. I've been busy. Yeah. When people say, "Well, I've been busy," that means I've just been really too lazy to do the podcast. But I have been busy. I have been. But I have been lazy at the same time. But I really want to get the podcast back up and going. I've been wanting to retool it, and I've had my mind set on what to do. I don't know. I thought about it a lot. Ideas come and go, but I am not giving up on this podcast. Yes, it's been too long since the last one. I've had several requests to do it again, so I'm sitting here doing it again. For you guys wondering where I've been out on the road. I've been doing stand-up a lot. I'm on tour with a group called The Deplorables, which is a conservative comedy group. And some of you guys probably already know what this is about. If you haven't heard, check out The Deplorables, Google Deplorables, or go look at my Facebook or Twitter, and you'll see what the Deplorable comedy tour is about. It is me, Michael Loftus, Brian Hayner, the Deplorable Choir, the wonderful girl singers, and it was Terrence Williams. Terrence was out with us, wonderful Terrence Williams, but he was in a car accident and hasn't been able to do the last few dates, so we have been doing them without him. But we have been out and busy and doing shows, and we were just in Columbus and Cincinnati last weekend, and we'll be going to, I think it's Tacoma and Portland at the end of March. So we've been busy. I have just been too lazy to record this podcast, and I apologize for that. I am going to get better at it. Stick with me. One of the changes that I want to do is I'd like to add a thing at the start of the podcast and call it the monologue. Since this is Remasculate, and I'm a guy, and this is kind of like, bringing guys back. And ladies, if you're listening, it's not just for the guys. It's for you too, but it's for you ladies that want to raise better sons, that you get an insight about guys. So the start, I've been thinking about having a little monologue, like a monologue at the start of the show. So tell me what you think about that. I should have had one ready for this, but I wasn't even prepared to do this podcast, except I was a guest on Michael Loftus' podcast, the Loftus Party. He had me on his podcast, and I said, Mike, send me the audio from your podcast. I will add it to my podcast, and we will do a collab, as they say. So this podcast will be the one I recorded with him, except I'm adding all this to the start of the show. And I will probably come and add more to this. I just wanted to jump down and get this started because I didn't want to seem lazy anymore. I got to get Remasculate back on the air. You understand me, don't you, people? You understand what I'm saying? You're digging what wait. You're picking up what I'm laying down? Let's get these metaphors right. You guys are digging what I'm saying? See, that's what you guys understand. So, Pooh Bear wants down. Okay, bye, Pooh Bear. We will do a little bit more of this. I have got some stuff I've got to go do, right? But I will be back, and I will add to this, and I will say right now, no, I'm not going to say bye. I'll say I'll be back later. Hold on. Okay, and I am back. It has actually been several days since I recorded that first part. I had to go have dental surgery. I went to what they call it, an endodontist? Yeah, because I had to have a root canal and a tooth extraction. Oh, yes, a tooth extraction. Apparently, I had gotten a broken tooth, and there was a infection around the root on the inside, so it hadn't shown up on other x-rays before. They did a CT scan, like a whole thing of my head, and found this, and so I had to have the root canal and the surgery extraction, and they did a bone graft because I probably am going to get an implant. It's the very last tooth on the bottom left, and we'll see. Right now, I'm on pain pills, and just I'm not hating life right now. I hate the fact that I had to lose a tooth. I never thought I'd be one of those people that loses a tooth. Not that the bad people lose a tooth, but I've tried really hard to take care of my teeth, so it kind of just bummed me out a little bit. But it's all going to be good in the end. I love my dentist, Dr. Stang, over at Stanley Shore's Dental Group here in Denver. If you guys are in Denver, around Denver, that is definitely somebody you should check out. So, yeah. I wanted to add more stuff to this beginning of the podcast, but I just don't have the time right now, and my mouth isn't 100%. So let's just get on with the podcast that I recorded with Mike Loftus, and it's a good one. I had a great time, and I hope you enjoy it. And the next one of these, I promise, I will have much more in the beginning of the podcast. Actually, I'll have much more podcasts because it will probably be just me. So here it is. It's the remasculated version of the Loftus Party podcast. Enjoy.
Good morning to you Loftus Party people. It's a St. Patrick's Day edition of the podcast. We're very fortunate. I'm on the road right now. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, the old hometown. We're joined today by Steve Mudflap McGrew, an insanely talented comedian, a very astute he makes astute political observations. Astute means smart.
Oh, thank you.
And then we got the Liberty Gimlet there on the other end. What's happening?
Oh, not much.
What do you mean everything's happening? Everything's happening all at once.
I'm wearing green, so nobody pinches me. But other than that, that's as far as I've gotten today.
That you actually bring up a very good subject. That was the whole thing when I was a kid.
What's that?
If you didn't wear green on St. Patrick's Day, they would pinch you.
Pinch you.
Yeah. That's assault, right?
Oh, that would be
you
now.
go to
That
jail.
is now
I
assault.
guarantee that's been gone. We're old. I guarantee that no one's done that in 20 years.
They're not doing it in elementary schools anymore?
I doubt it.
Well, that was just an excuse for Michael.
What about the other thing that might be gone from school? Remember the booby?
No.
Remember that?
Was that what?
Yeah.
What is that?
What? Where you'd pinch your boob.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
We never had that.
You never had that?
That's legitimately assault.
It's a booby.
Oh, a boob bee. We had what's worse than a hurricane?
Yeah.
Titty twister.
And you twist that? See, that probably gone too?
That was usually dude on dude. I never went up to a girl and like, what's worse than a hurricane?
We all did. I think it was an excuse for a grope back then.
Oh, God.
Hashtag me too.
The worst is the bra snap. Sorry, guys.
The bra snap?
Yeah.
I wonder if those are gone.
Well, that's how you showed a girl you liked her when I was a kid.
Well, we would just dunk her pigtails in the ink bottle.
Oh,
there.
Yeah. Thank you, Little House on the Prairie.
Right? Okay, so there's a lot going on. We're gonna jump into some news. I think. Well, let's. How do we want to frame this up? The Tucker Carlson thing. I think that's blown over. I think Tucker has given a lesson in how to do this, because by day 2 of that thing, he was on the offensive. Is he still? I got to be honest. We were in Cincinnati 2 nights ago. Last night, big team meeting, yada, yada. I haven't seen news in a couple of days.
Well, he stood up to the outrage mob more than anybody has.
But he went after Media Matters, who started the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, he went after their president. Apparently, apparently Angelo, who heads up the entire Rage Machine, had some very interesting blogs that he'd written several years ago. So actually, even in my estimation, worse than anything Tucker said when you take everything Tucker actually said in context. Um, but yeah, Angelo is kind of a derp, and I think they went a little bit quiet. But then they had, your AstroTurf protesters out in front of Fox News because they want the whole thing shut down. They're going after the hosts one at a time, but they
Yeah.
literally want Fox News taken off the air.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's like they're playing hot potato over there. It's either
Yeah.
they're either going after Hannity, or they're going after Tucker, or they're going after Judge Janine,
Yeah.
or who's the other one that they go after all the time to have them taken off the. Either way,
Well, it's every one of them, and they've had
Laura
picked them
Ingraham.
off. They pick them off like birds on a wire. I mean, some of the Bill O'Reilly, boom, gone.
well,
Some of the but I'm saying they're picking them off. They're like,
Oh,
seriously,
yeah.
like, bing, got one, bing, and I think that's actually hurt Fox News. I mean,
Really?
seriously, I do. I know. I'm a news junkie. You and I have talked about this, but I know people that are now turning away because they're like, well, my favorite's gone. My favorite, it might not be your and I favorite,
Oh, yeah.
but they're like, well, I don't watch anymore because such and such is gone.
I tell you, if you can separate, this is weird, and I've done videos about this before. If you can separate Bill O'Reilly's behavior, right? This is like literally like Roseanne.
Right.
Take away that tweet. Can you still laugh at her joke? Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Take away his thing. Can
Yeah.
you still laugh at his jokes? Take away Bill O'Reilly and the lawsuits and the settling out of court. To me, that dude was a legit. I mean, it was an opinion show, but at
Right.
least he did legit news.
One of the things that I think
Every once in a
people
while.
have not been able to do lately is separate the art from the artist.
Right.
Like you could go, I can't read Edgar Allan Poe. He was a drug addict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's like with going after Tucker. I mean, like he's saying this stuff on Bubba the Love Sponge. It's a shock
Right.
jock. Like you can't go, oh, this is Tucker Carlson's deeply held beliefs.
Yeah.
This is what he argued in front of the Supreme Court in 1880.
he wasn't on the 700 Club.
Dig it.
Well, I mean, that
Tucker.
would be like going back and taking every lefty politician in New York and a bunch of other people and coming through Howard Stern. I mean, for a while, Howard Stern was top of the frickin' market.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
people
You could
said
have everybody.
outrageous things on his show.
Well, that's what you went to do. You specifically went on Howard Stern to say the most outrageous thing. You knew that's what you needed to do. You prepared for that.
You know what would be interesting to find out, and this is just for people that know, I wonder how Howard's doing. I wonder how his show
The
is
actual
doing.
ratings.
Yeah. I mean, it's XM satellite radio, so I'm sure they guard that like Netflix. But I'd love to know.
Well, if you've been watching, there was I guess he had a new producer come in that told him, don't do this, don't do that, get rid of don't spank strippers' bottoms anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's been a whole it's a whole different show than when he was king of the media.
Oof.
That
I
seems
don't know.
like taking your brand and flushing it down the toilet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just an observation from the corner over here.
Yeah. If Howard's not going to be spanking strippers, I mean, but
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I
Yeah.
never.
What do you mean you can't pick up a midget and hit him in the boobs anymore?
A buddy of mine was like the biggest Howard Stern fan. He's like, you gotta hear this, and I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It
Well, but wouldn't you, seriously, Mike, wouldn't you love to have somebody do for you what they did for Stern? Like just call up a show and go, instead of Baba Booey, just go, Michael Loftus, and hang up.
no,
Remember they did that for so long. People would call into talk shows, Baba Booey,
I know.
and hang.
I wouldn't want that.
You wouldn't want that?
No. Here's what I would want. I
Okay.
want people to call in and go, you know what? I never thought about this issue like this, but there's this comedian, Michael Loftus, and I would want that. I would want that.
Oh.
But I don't want the.
But you wouldn't like
the-
a mob that was so,
No.
like, loved you so much that they were just like,
No, it would scare me. I wouldn't want it.
I
They'd
don't
attack me
know.
at an airport. Baba Booey! And I'm like, I don't know. And you got to act like you like them.
I don't know. You might be on the road now, Michael, after this week.
That was, I guess we should address that. The presidential tweet, which was
Yeah.
just
By name.
which was awesome.
Now, was I the first one to show you that? Because I was watching and tweeting you that morning. Remember, we were texting, and you wrote back, "Holy hell!"
Yeah. Actually, it was Brian Kilmeade and then you. It was like a 1-2 punch.
I was late to the party. That sucks. I texted you, "Holy crap! You just got retweeted by the president."
I really couldn't believe it. Like Fox is very nice. They send a car in the morning, and I always accept the offer because in a doomsday scenario, there's 2 people in the car and we can use the carpool lane. I don't want to risk if I'm going to get up at 2:30 in the morning to go do this. Yeah. I'm not going to risk getting stuck in some freak traffic thing. So I did the segment. It's weird. I feel like I am kind of like beating the same drum, like of how the left just dominates late night. The left just dominates political comedy. They just dominate, and
they dominate media.
Yeah, and they don't want to, as well as especially in the joking aspect of it, you know. So I was kind of doing that again and trying to figure out how to say that in a new way, and then I made a couple like little jokes, and man, oh man, I guess the president liked one of them. What I love about it is that he actually tweeted the joke, like he wrote it down.
Yeah,
like
the crumbs. And all of them.
Yeah. He didn't just like do a screen grab.
What should feel really cool is thinking you made President Trump either laugh or smile.
Or, you know what? This thought hit me last night. There is a very legit chance that he watched the show and he's like, okay, so this guy's a conservative comedian. Let's see. And then he was like, ooh, that's not funny. Ooh, that's not funny. Ooh, what's the closest thing he had? I'll do that one.
Oh, God, where do you go to these dark places?
I have self-esteem issues.
Wow, you really do. Forget daddy issues.
It's almost like I need to go out in front of a room full of people every night and have them approve me.
You need to be validated. I know that feeling.
So it was very cool. I'm glad that everyone keeps expecting, oh, did your Twitter blow up? Did
it?
And like, no. I mean, from friends going, the president just tweeted you, blah, 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 blah. And then I kind of reposted it. But like, he just wrote Michael Loftus. He didn't know to use my Twitter hashtag, the Loftus Party.
Didn't a lot of people do what I did, though? Because I retweeted you several times with the Loftus Party.
Yeah,
and that's trying to tie it together.
Yeah, I got some new followers that way. But yeah, it wasn't like our friend Terrence Williams, who's on this tour with us, he was telling us about when Hannity tweeted him. Mm-hmm. Hannity's like, oh, you got to check out. And then he used Terrence's Twitter handle. And Terrence was like, it was bonkers. Yeah. It was bonkers. And oh, my gosh, last night I was talking social media with Stacy. Do you follow Brandon Tatum, Officer Tatum? He's with Turning Point.
I'm not sure if I do or not. It sounds familiar.
He was not a Trump supporter, and he was a police officer, I believe, in Tucson. And he's because Terrence got injured. Terrence got in the car accident. Brandon is doing a couple shows with us. The guy's great. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan, and he knows Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk and all those kids over at Turning Point. He was telling me a story last night. We went out for pizza, and he was talking about he didn't think Trump was all that in a bag of chips. Very, very familiar little story to our podcast listeners. So he went to a Trump rally and was just like instantly just like, yup, this is the man.
It was like a tent revival.
Yeah. And he did a video about it like in the parking lot. And he's like, that's the one that just went crazy. And his phone, he said his phone for like 5 days straight. Just like new alert, new alert, new alert, new alert. Yeah. That's got to be exciting. That's got to be a cool feeling.
What's kind of weird, that it's been great that he was able to turn that into a bigger and massive follow to keep it going. Yeah. The one of the first videos that I did as Liberal Larry was like blew up, went viral, like close to 8 million. Yeah. And then everybody was like, well, great, but the follow-up, let's see how people can have a viral video And then you go, why did that one take off and the next one didn't? And why does the next one only get 100,000?
What were you talking about? What was liberal Larry talking about?
The election, like when Trump won.
Oh, I remember that video.
Remember that video? Me
yeah,
crying
you're having the big meltdown. Yeah. Well, that's why.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, but you thought, okay, if they know you're a comic, wouldn't they start like staying with you or stalling your videos?
Dude, I have to think, and this goes back to branding. I think a lot of people legitimately thought Larry was real. Yes. I'm not kidding. Haven't you had that happen before?
There's actually a woman that does that.
Yeah.
I forget her hand. I forget what she goes by on Facebook, but she actually is a conservative, kind of like that account I love, Tatiana McGrath, which we found out this week is actually a guy.
Yeah.
Like, people respond to that account and they think it's real. They can't tell it's a parody.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. A lot of people who follow my Liberal Larry character in videos say they follow because they like to watch the response from people that don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
They like to read those comments. They say it cracks them up. They're like, I can't believe these people are this stupid.
And like there would be a guy, a Democrat, who was like, you know what my YouTube channel's going to be? Liberal Larry. It's like, he wouldn't just call it like Larry Dirkowitz or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, for a weird...
Because I'm Republican Mike.
For Republican Mike. Because I tried that for a while. Well, I did Liberal Larry at first, and I thought exactly what you said. And I changed his name to Larry Musk.
Larry Musk?
I put Larry Musk.
That's hilarious.
That's
hilarious.
And for a while, it was Larry Musk, and then people were complaining, like, why did you change his name? What happened to Liberal Larry? Like, I can't find Liberal Larry anymore.
Oh, man.
So I went back to... Yeah. Because I thought the same thing. If people if they saw a real name, they might take the confusion a little further,
Yeah. Who's he's like an AM talk show guy that does nothing but characters, and he will have the most outrageous. One guy owns a steakhouse, and he's the most racist, old school.
Yeah,
and like people call in and they believe it's real. What is that guy's name?
I know exactly who you're talking. I used to listen to him in L.A. And
he was hilarious.
He had the woman who was head of the HOH, and
I swear. Have you heard of this guy, Stace?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you got to look him up.
He does all the characters. He's the host, and then he'll call up. I'm going to call up Roy McGregor, owner of the blah blah steakhouse in Beverly Hills, and then he has like a filter or something because it sounds like Phil Hendry. Oh my Lord!
He had
genius.
One time, my son and I were listening to it. He had this guy. He was pretending to be a guy that wrote a book about how to make your children love you more. So he's interviewed, and the guy said, here's what you do. You put raw meat in their swimsuit, raw bloody meat in their swimsuit, and you put them out in the ocean. And when the sharks come to eat your child, you save them, and they're so appreciative that they love you more. And people went nuts.
Remember that with that little Cuban kid hiding in the closet, and then during the Clinton administration.
Yeah.
There was a guy, he interviewed a, air quote, guy who had a pop-up book about that kid.
Oh my God.
And he was a little effeminate, and he was like, so here we see him, he's on his way to America, and there's him and his family on the raft. Then you pull this tab, and you got a little wave that comes, there goes mom and dad, he's all by himself. It was hilarious.
God.
People are just horrified. How can you do that? Who publishes the book? And he had a name of a fake publisher. Well, anyway, Phil Hendry.
Here's the thing, and here's the thing about Phil Hendry. As weird and out there as that comedy is, and dark, he blocked me on Twitter because of being a conservative. That's the other thing that bugs me about the left. That they can be as dark and twisted as they want to be.
Because it's art.
It's art.
Yeah. But when you do it, it's hate speech.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why this is great. It's come full circle. And that's why we're doing the Deplorable Tour. Someone has to establish legitimately a beachhead.
Right.
A beachhead of, we are comedians. We talk about this. It's just jokes.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, I've said I see the Deplorables guy, us, the two are Mike and Brian and all of us, actually becoming the conservative network. Like people will go, those guys should have a conservative Saturday Night Live type of show, or those guys should have the conservative talk show. Like there needs to be that wave. These are the first of the conservative guys, and you can get behind this.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like we got to be, putting the flag on the beach. Okay, first things first.
Yeah.
We're gonna start touring around the country, and we're telling jokes, and we're gonna get that going. And then it's very similar to, and I think about this a lot, dude, a lot. National Lampoon.
Yeah.
Like National Lampoon, those guys that were just going to start making fun of
the college magazine that blew up.
Well, just making fun of the rich and the hoity-toity and the class differences. And then they found Belushi, and I'm not saying in no way, shape, or form am I saying that we are like Belushi and Aykroyd and all those guys. However, but they found those dudes and they started doing comedy albums. They didn't do touring, but like, okay, then after that happened, then you do a movie and you do another album, and
that turned into Saturday Night Live, and
absolutely,
Saturday Night Live turned into characters that made bigger movies, and
everything, dude. There's a great documentary. I can never remember the name of it. I saw it on Netflix. Drunk, Stoned, and Weird, something like that, and it's about the founding of National Lampoon.
Yeah,
everything you're laughing at today, or for the on television, films. Like 90% of it you could directly tie to National Lampoon in like 1978. Like that original group of dudes.
Yeah.
They changed films, they changed movies forever, but you had to start. So hopefully that's what we're doing out here on the road.
The cover of the gun to the puppy's head is iconic.
Yeah. Buy this magazine or the puppy dies, whatever. So that's what we're doing. We had we're kind of all over the board, but I like that. This is like a treat. This is like a candy bar podcast right now. We did where the hell were we? Cincinnati the other night. That was a great show.
Oh, so they loved it. They cheered at everything. Not only did they clap and laugh, there was cheers.
Stacy, Gypsy, Gimlet. I can't wait till they're holding on to a bunch of this footage. They want to be very careful about how they release it and stuff. But I cannot wait for people to see. You won't believe the audience reaction. It is over the top. It's fantastic.
And when the show was over the other night, the audience actually broke into simultaneously, "God Bless America."
This is crazy. Okay, so after the show, we stick around because there's like VIP packages, and those guys, we take pictures, we hang out, and we talk. So there's the VIP line, and as we're taking pictures, you can hear the audience out in the street, out in front of the theater, and they're God Bless America. They're singing it so loud you could hear it in the theater. It was just like this spontaneous. It was freaking
like they came out America loving just sons of.
It was like it was like a movie. It was like a movie. Okay.
So did you guys want a little update on current events?
I do. Like we hit Tucker Carlson. We didn't. No, we touched upon Tucker Carlson. We touched
upon his epic response to the mob.
Touched by a Tucker. Mm-hmm. And then we said Happy St. Patrick's Day. Mm-hmm. So we covered that. And listen, I'll just tell you guys right now, the whole thing in New Zealand is just horrible and horrific. And they say there's something funny about everything, but not here and not this one. So that's the only other current event I know.
Well, Beto O'Rourke officially announced his candidacy for president.
Yay. What did his left arm say? Did his left arm have a statement for the press? Because it acts independently.
During his announced video, his wife was holding his left arm, but his right arm was going crazy.
Well, that's because he has cerebral Beto.
I have no idea. My policy is to always call him Robert Francis.
Yes.
So I don't do... And then he goes out and he's doing something, and I forget which policy he's talking about, actually had the nerve to refer to a Republican policy as, I wouldn't want to be one of those pendejos. Don't do that, Robert Francis. Don't do that. He got ripped for that.
For being fake Mexican.
Exactly. He had a big spread the day before he announced in Vanity Fair, and Annie Leibovitz did the photography. So we had a bunch of angsty pictures of him on a dirt road standing next to a Jeep with his pocket, his hand in
Yeah,
his
I
back
saw that
pocket
one.
and his dog by his side. So now we actually have an account out there now that's cracking me up called Beto's Dog.
That's
Very
awesome.
insightful little pooch. Um, let's see, Kirsten Gillibrand, the woman who's held every position on every policy ever, officially
she knows
announced this
positions.
morning that she is for sure running for president. So her exploratory committee is over. After all this, she's probably going to want to take them out and beat them because I really can't see her winning. However, she came up with a great slogan. Not really sure where she's going with it, but her slogan is "Be brave."
Aw.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Oh, that sounds like a Disney tune.
Exactly.
Doesn't it though?
I want to see you be brave.
Yeah, it's like from the Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah,
Yeah, when he's like, which is a
the
great
little
movie.
candidate that could.
Hey, Christian, you have to give a speech. I know there's a lot of people out there, and they don't know you. They want to get to know
Come
you.
on now.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Hold on to this feather, and you're gonna fly.
All right. Well, what about this? Have you got the in the news was the college scandal?
Oh yeah.
The
you see this,
the
Michael?
Lori Loughlin and William H. Macy's wife, and how did he escape going to jail? If you're married,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
His wife does stuff. He's like she does the bills. He does the same character that he did in Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't know what, she just does things. She's out in the driveway. She was calling admission.
yeah,
You
because
know
both
what
both of the husbands have escaped. Like
Oh.
Massimo, the designer of baggy cargo, preppy.
I love that man's work. I'm not gonna let you badmouth my man Massimo. I'm not even
I
kidding.
thought a Massimo was a drink you have at brunch.
Dude, Massimo is the man behind Target.
Well, I know that, and
Right?
I
think we know that how my
we know
feelings-
your Target addiction. I actually have to say I do own a couple of Massimo jeans that I like, but I'm thinking about burning them in effigy.
No, well, here's the thing. Every scandal goes back to Donald Trump. It's usually they can do it in one or two steps.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, and so the college scandal, I think it was like a few hours later, they already go, that Massimo dude is the Trump supporter.
Right.
So it's somehow
Oh
Trump's
my
fault
God.
that these
So-
girls went behind the college administration's
We
back.
need to forget 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Those 6 steps are gone.
Right.
Now it's
2 degrees of Trump.
Trump.
Yeah. They can
if
usually do it.
if that far. It
Yeah.
might be just it's Trump's fault.
Right.
It might just go directly to,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Oh, now, darn it. Here's what I said. I said we weren't going to talk about it, and then here I go. This is the other thing I know about, like the shooting in New Zealand. Supposedly that was Candace Owens' fault
And PewDiePie.
and PewDiePie.
And PewDiePie.
I saw PewDiePie's statement. And,
Yeah, I saw that too.
And that was, I thought, it was heartfelt and honest and good. I don't now.
I still don't
even wanna
understand
talk about it.
I still don't understand the PewDiePie connection, because PewDiePie is followed by millions of kids on YouTube, and he plays video games.
Well, here's the
How-
PewDiePie connection. When the guy said subscribe to PewDiePie, right?
Okay, yeah.
I guess
That's all he said.
that's all he said. There, PewDiePie, most people probably know, big YouTuber. He started out with video games. He's
Right.
actually getting back to playing them a little bit now. He does videos every day. So he was the number one guy in the world.
Yeah.
And he's just a dude.
Yeah.
So there's a big, I don't know if it's in Korea or if it's in India. It's like a record label. It's like a big company, and they started getting more YouTube subscribers because like they wouldn't let their talent or their clients do their individual channels. You would have to subscribe to this big corporation.
Yeah.
So it looked like they were going to beat PewDiePie for
Yeah.
the world record of who has the most subscribers. So the whole YouTube community, all the big creators were like, "Hey, subscribe to PewDiePie."
Well, they
'Cause
pushed it hard.
Yeah, because it's like it was kind of beautiful, like they want the individual.
Yeah.
They want to live in this world where just an individual creator doesn't get eaten by the machine. It's like John Henry.
Yeah.
right?
The guy, the hammer beat the machine.
Yeah. It's the dude versus.
Go, John Henry, go.
Yeah, and then he ends up dying.
Yeah.
So everybody's been saying that. Subscribe to PewDiePie on their videos and stuff. So I'm sure PewDiePie was less than thrilled that this
but isn't
mass murderer used it.
Isn't there a saying that
there's no such thing as bad press?
Oh, God. I mean,
I think actually we're talking about it. So there isn't. So like right now there's listeners going, I might subscribe to PewDiePie.
Right now there's listeners as quiet as your co-host.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, I'm staying out. I don't
know what's going on.
I'm not getting in
I'm
this.
just going to make it worse. I'm just going to let these guys keep digging their hole. Put down the shovels, boys. Stop
John Henry, put down the...
Gypsy is quiet. Are you still there?
Well, you guys just seem to be having such a good time. I didn't want to like interrupt your bro moment.
Do you know the story of John Henry?
No.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of people might not know. That is an old tale.
Yeah, it is like an old. It's almost like Paul Bunyan-ish. But there was this guy, John Henry, with a pickaxe or a shovel, whatever.
He was driving the railroad ties.
Okay, this is starting to sound familiar.
Yeah, and then he was like the best ever. He was the best, and everybody was just like, oh my gosh, this guy's wonderful. And then they bring in some steam-powered machine that can do the job better than he can. So they end up having a race to see who can lay the most track by sundown or whatever. And I remember this like really made me sad as a kid. It's making me sad right now. So they have the race. John Henry wins at the end of the day. He wins by like 1. However, he dies. He dies. So like the whole thing is a metaphor of like, hey, working man, here come the machines to do your jobs. There's nothing you can do. As much as you try, as much as you want it, as hard as you keep going, you will die. Like in the 2nd grade, it bummed me out.
There's a statue of John Henry
outside of Talcott in Summers County, West Virginia.
He was an African-American folk hero.
Yeah. He was a steel driving man. Yeah, I remember it just like bummed me out. There's a couple things that bummed me out big time as a kid. John Henry dying, and the fact that the sun was going to go supernova and all this is pointless and we just have like a couple billion years and it's all over. I'm like, why are we not working on rockets? Like as we speak. You know this. I was mad at my teacher. Like, you dumb whore. Why are we even? You're telling me about You're telling me about cursive writing? Are you drunk? Put the book down. Listen to what you said. The sun's gonna supernova. We know this.
Okay, you just
get out of here. We have to leave.
You just said, why aren't we doing rockets? Here's what I have been thinking. Why don't we have flying cars? We have the technology. We knew the Jetsons could do it back in the 60s. And, why haven't we gotten better? We could fly over traffic and land in parking lots.
Couple things. Jetsons was a cartoon.
Yes, I'm well aware of that, Michael. But I have really I thought, this guy that runs Tesla, what's his name?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk has got to have his own flying car somewhere. He's figured it out.
Steve, people can't manage to change lanes horizontally. If you give them a horizontal and a vertical, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. Well, here's why I figured that. I was standing behind somebody at a self-checkout at a Walmart, watching them trying to do self-checkout. And I thought, that's exactly why we don't have flying cars. You can't work a scanner at Walmart. I am not going to trust you to fly an automobile.
There's so much going wrong here. There's so much going wrong. First of all, we're about to have flying cars. They're going to be drones, drone taxis. That's the technology they're going to use.
Okay.
Like Dubai and Saudi Arabia have giant factories. They're little 2-seat for real. Like they're coming. They'll be here any moment. Yeah. However, the flying time isn't that long, and you need like I should be steering in this comedically, but I'm not. It's like I'm science Mike.
Thanks for taking this in an odd direction.
But but because what Stacy just said is legit. Like people on roadways can barely. Can you imagine a sky full? Can you imagine a sky full of drones of people just going wherever they want?
Yeah, but if it's going to be a drone, it could be computer driven, which computer would know what altitude and lane.
There you go.
You would put
and
in.
Stacy is never getting in one. Not happening. No.
It's an Uber in the air.
No. Nope.
I tell you what.
Wouldn't you love to have an Uber air driver talk to you the whole entire trip?
The advantage I have is I live in an exurb. I never have to go to Atlanta.
Yeah. See, you're lucky.
Anything I need is outside the circle.
Have you ever had an Uber driver scare you, like just from talking to them?
Oh yeah.
I had a car service driver scare the heck out of me. He started going the wrong way on the George Washington Bridge, and I nearly lost my mind.
Wow.
Well, that's bad driving. I'm talking about psychologically. What am I in the car with?
No, when I say the wrong way on the George Washington
beautiful
Bridge,
sky.
I mean,
He goes, yes, today, because there's no chemtrails. You know, the government has been spraying the air. And he went off on this whole thing, and I thought, I'm in the car with conspiracy theory Carl.
I've had the personality doesn't scare me, but the driving I've had that just been terrifying. I had an Uber driver in New York recently.
Mm-hmm.
She had to get me to JFK. Plenty of time. She's like, "When does your flight leave?" I'm like 7 a.m. tomorrow. It was like we had hours.
You gave her too much
and
time.
She was just flying, talking to me, leaning back, talking like it was
Yeah, that's
really
just
terrifying.
drivers in New York, though.
Yeah. So
when you're driving up there, it's like you don't use your blinker because you don't let them know your plans. Because if you do, they're gonna pull up and cut you off.
Yeah, that's LA too. They do the same thing. As soon as you put your blinker over, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna deny you that because you want it."
The difference in LA and New York cab drivers is in New York, when you step out of a cab, you have a hint of Indian food all over you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a curry. Curry cologne.
Or there's too much cologne from the Russians.
That was LA to me, because when LA, I get out of a cab in LA and I always feel like I smell like one of those Crown air fresheners in the back of those cars. Like there's a cologne smell.
I had a kid from Turkey give me a ride recently, but there was like no hard. I kind of prefer, like, you do have like the Eastern European, the guys who like really lay it on the thick with the Drakkar Noir. It's like I kind of dig it though. It's like I know who you are. I know who you are, and I don't even have to talk to you. I've detected it with my nose. I know your life story.
I know where you're from. I know what you love to eat. I love to know. I know what you spend your money on.
That's what I like it when you know somebody's a racist. Like they say something like, "Okay, so now I know. Now I know. I don't have to talk to you at a cocktail party."
I know. Yeah. Well, hey, can we get back? Speaking of, like you said, the names of the cologne. Can we get back to just things like High Karate or Old Spice? Remember there was things that you just slapped on. You didn't have to have some name. You just smelled good.
I'm not even kidding you here. I dropped the ball on Old Spice. When my sons came into this world, I had this idea, and I never followed through. And I do this a lot. I have great ideas, and I don't follow through. I'm like, I'm going to start wearing Old Spice.
You might be my brother.
I'm going to start wearing Old Spice, so then my kids will associate that smell with me.
To a dad, manly.
I'm not even kidding you. And then when I'm dead, they will be like shopping for their wives or their grandkids, and they'll smell Old Spice, and they'll go, "I miss my dad."
They'll tear up.
Right?
Yeah.
So you were like figuring out and planning how to emotionally cripple your kids?
Yes. No, but it would be like a nice hello. They'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I bet he's up there watching me," and I'd be up in heaven doing something really.
But you're talking
horrible. Like, yeah, I'm watching.
But this is beautiful, because you're actually, God, that's brilliant. I love, like, my podcast is called Remasculate, and I always try to talk about things that try to get manly things back.
Yeah.
Manly, kids need to learn how to do a campfire or cook a potato underground. There's things that men need. You actually have talked about the smell of a man. It's
Yeah.
the smell of a man.
And here's
you,
the other. Here's
you like you go to the barber and that slap stuff on you and sting and you smell like a man.
Here's how it started. When years ago, back when like they're like, okay, you can't smoke in restaurants anymore, but you could still smoke in bars. And then in LA is like, you can't smoke in bars. I remember I was going to it was a comedy club. I think it was Comedy Off Broadway in Lexington, Kentucky. Great club, wonderful people. And I would always go with a Zippo, right? That was like the Zippo lighter. And it was amazing. I was like so happy. I'm having a beer. I got to smoke. I'm smoking in the bar. It's just like life is good. And like chick flick with the Zippo. And it was amazing how many women were like, wow. Like they're like,
that was the sound of a man.
That it smells like my dad had a Zippo. And I haven't thought of it. I'm like, wow. It's like, because like pumpkin pie, they say is the biggest one.
That will bring back my mom's kitchen or
and it's like smells and music will do the same thing too.
Music transport me.
But I really thought I'm gonna start wearing Old Spice so I smell.
Well, the lighter, that's another brilliantly man thing. The lighter was remember World War II? They'd flick the lighter was covered. They'd be in the mud of the.
I have one of those.
And,
they recreate the World War I trench lighter.
Do they?
Yeah, and it's got a really cool. You open it up and it like blocks the wind.
Yeah, But just even the Zippo lighter, like you said, the cover.
Yeah.
Remember the guys that would just like hit it on their pants?
I did that. Bang! Yeah.
And it was
on the downstroke. It opens up the thing, and then you go back up, and it spins the wheel.
See, that's a manly thing.
It's badass.
Like that is badass. As he vapes. But we should bring back more things like that. We should I don't smoke. I've never smoked. My parents paid me not to smoke, and that is the honest to God truth.
Wow. That's very progressive.
Yeah, well,
it's very liberal.
Well, my parents.
Steve, I know there's a lot of danger out there in the world. Your mother and I have decided.
My dad smoked with like lighting one with another. You know, that kind of like light one with another, like that kind of smoking that men did.
Yul Brynner smoking.
And so my mom smoked, and they would smoke in an unair-conditioned car with the windows up. And I did not like this, I didn't like it.
What are you, half a fairy?
I know. But what are you making, beef jerky back here? But my parents said, all three of the kids, if you don't smoke by the time you're 21, you get $500 on your 25th birthday, which was a lot of money in 1970s.
Nice.
So all three of us got the money, all three kids, and none of us smoke except my brother. When he hit like 40, started smoking cigars. And my dad goes, I want my money back. My dad, I want my money back.
It's funny.
But that was an incentive not to smoke. Just don't do it. But even though I don't smoke.
$500?
Yeah. I bought a nice stereo.
It was 1970. I bought a car.
I bought a car.
Down payment
I bought a house. But even though I don't smoke, I would love to be able to walk around with a really cool lighter because, there's things you need to light, candles.
Yeah.
Why don't we bring back men with lighters?
Because they take them away at the airport now.
Those bastards.
Yeah. Zippo's great. There's a lot of cool history behind Zippo, and they're collectibles. Each Zippo lighter has a different. This is another crazy, stupid crap that I know that I don't know why. There's a Roman numeral on the bottom of a Zippo, and each one's different, and some are more rare than others. And so you can collect them and like, oh, you got a 4 on that. That's great. And they're also guaranteed for life. If anything goes wrong with your Zippo lighter, you go to a cigar shop. They have prepaid envelopes. You do your return address. Floop bloop. They fix it. They send it back. It's beautiful.
But
America.
See, that lighter takes lighter fluid, which is dangerous.
Yes.
Why would you want to have that in your home? Your child could drink that.
Anything could happen. Hey, Stacy.
Yes.
What is going on? Is there any news about the super smoking hot chick from Arizona?
Oh, Kristen Cinema?
Yeah.
Who?
Kristen? See. It's got to drive her crazy. Kristen, it's either Kristen or Kirsten Cinema. You haven't done
no.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
he had to have seen the picture of her in the thigh boots in the Senate.
Oh, yes.
See?
Okay.
See?
All right.
I knew it.
Yeah. The whore in the Capitol building.
I think she, not this past week, but within the past month, she completed some kind of triathlon.
I have
a big
to
one,
go
like
back
an Iron
and
Woman or something.
I have to celebrate that moment. I have to just like celebrate that and walk the listeners through. I'm looking at Steve. You have to know this woman. He has this blank expression on his face.
Because I keep up with politics.
He's up on politics, and it's like I've talked to him about Marvin the Martian. The Liberty Gimlet, the gypsy over there, knows exactly the right key phrase. She's like, no, he has to know about the chick in the thigh-high boots.
And my face lit up like a campfire. Oh, yeah.
I just think it's hilarious how Stacy knew exactly what to go to. Like
She knows how to talk to men.
Yeah.
Michael, that's when you started talking about her.
Oh no, I was talking about her when she. There's some other great photos of her. It has to drive her crazy. She's like she ran on like I'm the first openly bisexual, and you're just like what?
What? Guys paid attention?
Right? I'm like I might follow her campaign.
I might have a chance.
And she's gone. She's just disappeared. It's like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just lapped her, and you don't hear about this.
I hadn't thought about that.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah,
because there was a whole thing about those boots, and that was the whole thing. And the
She
guys
wore
were the big bodyguards walking with her, and she was so. Yeah. You're right.
Well, I'll say this: the boots themselves didn't bother me, but the ensemble it just didn't go together. Those boots belonged with some other completely
the guys
different
from Queer
stuff.
Eye would have tore her up.
What?
The guys from Queer Eyes for the straight, you watch that show, like, oh, I can't believe you wore that, girl.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the picture right now, but yeah.
Well, how did that happen? How did she get blown off the map by? Does that again the media just not go? She's out. She's not our darling. We'll avoid her at all costs.
I really think so. I think they looked at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is like, oh, she's the rough and tumble kid from the streets, and
Jenny from the block.
She's not.
Yeah, and she's much better for the story. Come on.
He's Googling.
But it also seems to me like they're way more interested, and this probably has to do with the political outcomes. They're way more interested in members of the House of Representatives at this point than members of the Senate. Used to be totally flipped. Like you hear more stories coming out of the House than you hear out of the Senate, and that's because the Democrats aren't in the majority, but they are in the House.
Well, don't you think the headline, they can do more with AOC and her lunatic green plans and leftist socialist stuff than they can with the boots?
See, you saw this dude come out and do this video about, oh, I just finally heard at CPAC that she's a complete creation. Duh. We had that out there about her and how Cenk Uygur, or however you say his name, the head guy for genocide denying Young Turks. How he was a Bernie bro, and her campaign manager, Secret Chakrabarty, I've always got to stop, Zach Exley, Alexandra Rojas, all these people decided to form these Justice Democrats. They literally, they have a 7-minute video with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talking about her audition. I've been calling this girl the best supporting actress for like 3 months now. Like, I don't refer to her as Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's best supporting actress because she won the audition. They figure she's hot enough to maintain attention, and nothing that comes out of that girl's mouth, her Twitter account, her questioning of Congress, none of it is hers. None.
Yeah, I thought that too, that somebody is writing everything, posting everything, and when she has to wing it on her own, she has no idea. Like, I think capitalism is about capital stuff, and that kind of.
I want you all to do this because I wrote an article about it, and nobody cares. Okay, I want you to
I wrote an article, and nobody cares.
I want you all to go Google Jill Stein 2012 Green New Deal.
Really?
They completely ripped it off Jill Stein. It was the center of Jill Stein's campaign in 2012. It included Medicare for all. It included a World War II style restructuring of the economy. They ripped it off of Jill Stein. So Jill Stein ran in 2016. Bernie ran as a primary candidate and he lost. And then Bernie had a decision point, right? He either had to encourage people to run for Hillary so there was a better chance there'd be a Democrat in the White House, or he had to say, go with Jill because I agree with her. He had people vote for Hillary.
Yeah.
Now they're pushing all this crap from the far left up through Congress. If you read the Justice Democrats website and their partner organization's Data for Progress called The Future of the Party, you will be terrified.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow, that
The
is
left-
enlightening.
The left tells you exactly what they're going to do. They put it all on the interwebs, and I don't understand why the right and the Republicans can't find it, because I found it all.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. The Green New Deal, keep Green
It's Jill
Party
Stein.
presidential candidate Jill Stein, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Why
I
didn't
wrote
they
a
want her to
two-part
continue?
series on how it got from Jill Stein to Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez to all of the mainstream Democratic candidates.
Why
Well-
did they take it away from Jill? Why didn't they
Because
let
Jill's
her
never
be
going to win.
She had no heat.
Oh, okay.
She got no heat. Not only that, if you look at the Green New Deal, right, and you look at what it would actually take, and there's actually a group called Climate Mobilization out there who has done a thoughtful and intelligent, I'm not saying I agree with them, but thoughtful and intelligent assessment of what a World War II mobilization would look like. It includes rationing. It includes having people do home gardens.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody under the age of maybe 35 who would be prepared to do a garden?
No.
No.
And-
Okay? I
and-
mean, this stuff is just ridiculous, and there's nothing about it that has a freaking thing to do with the environment. It is all about power and money.
Yep. I couldn't agree more, and it's too funny. Well, it's not too funny, but it's just I remember my grandmother telling me about what life was like.
Yeah, me too.
Under the New Deal and